it's meant to be, then it will, God willing. God willing. Sky's the limit, and I'm busting out the ceiling. Starting to get to the point where I don't catch feeling. Just counting these millions, I need 100 to show. If you can't pay, it's a no. I would never sell my soul. That's the truth, real juice. All I need is good vibes, so I don't trust these hoes. Hot girls, small bros, that's just how the game goes. Came a long way, get it straight. They want the food on my plate. They don't want to see me strive. I want a piece of the plate. All I need is good vibes, and everything will be great. But they rather tell lies.
What's going on? What's going on, everybody? I'm your host, GRANxJEFE. Get ready for another episode of Unpopular Opinion. And today is a special day. I have a guest on with me today, Michel Buccheister, the co-host or the host of RTS Sports Talk, the one and only for the Just for Clicks podcast, Mornings with Mike, the Big Blue Breakdown. How you doing today?
Man, I'm doing great. It's a beautiful day outside. My son's sleeping. I'm watching some Sports Center, dude, and I'm just excited to speak with the one and only GRANxJEFE.
Hey man, it's good when the kids are asleep. That's like the best time of the day. Everything is normally quiet. You get stuff done. It's a beautiful day, man. Beautiful day. All right, so let's just hop right on in it. Big Ben has some words on 93.7. I think that's the radio show that he do up in Pittsburgh every week. Normally did top quarterbacks. They normally do that. But he has some stuff to say. He basically said, I'm a gunslinger. I'm going to keep throwing the ball because that's what I do. I'm not going to worry about interceptions. He said about James Washington, that one deep throw he had to James Washington down the right sideline, which was actually a pretty nice play. Washington laid out for it. When he hit the ground, the ball popped out. And then, on the late second interception that he threw at the end of the game on third down to Antonio Brown, where he threw it to the defensive lineman who dropped back and covered. He said he had been telling Antonio Brown he needs to run that flat when he's in the end zone instead of drifting. What you think about Big Ben comments? You think they were out of bounds? You think that's what you want your quarterback doing? Especially on James Washington, he said he didn't think he trusts his hands. Like he don't know what's going on with him, but he got to make that play.
Well, I want to start by saying this, that I think he is a good quarterback. Is he great? I don't know, but he is a good quarterback. He is a quarterback that will keep you in a lot of games, but he may not win you that big game all the time. So like with all that being said, his comments are way out of bounds. This needs to stay inside your family circle. This is something that like you pull your wife to the side and be like, look, you should have said this, and this, and this. But when you're out in a public light, you have your wife's back 100% of the time, if she's right, wrong, or indifferent. And these are just comments that Ben needs to keep in house. Are they right? Possibly. I'm not for sure. I didn't quite get to see that play that he is referring to about the big.
It was a tough catch. It was a tough catch. I mean, Mike, like the guy laid out like full extension to catch the ball. He had it. As soon as he hit the ground, it popped right out. So for me, I'm right there with you. I think Big Ben, there's some stuff that you can say in the media, just generalized stuff. And then there's some stuff that you say to guys behind closed doors.
Right.
But it seemed like that's the type of team that the Pittsburgh Steelers have. On the Le'Veon situation, all the offensive linemen were speaking out. Big Ben was speaking out. Antonio Brown has spoke out several times this year. He even asked not literally to be traded, but trade me and find out and see how good if Big Ben it really made me or not.
Right.
And then the other day, after the interception, they asked him like, what happened on that ball that was supposed to be going to you? And he said, what ball? I didn't get no ball. So it seemed like this is the type of stuff that the Steelers love to do. Big Ben was speaking out also on Le'Veon's situation. Just for me, I can understand what he's saying. Like you said, you correct in private, and then the media, because that's just one more thing now that everybody's going to be talking about. Everybody's going to be talking about Big Ben saying this. Big Ben saying James Washington, he don't trust his hands. Big Ben saying that the guys need to make those plays, but then on the other hand, he has the most red zone interceptions in the league.
Right.
The most. So, and I said the other day, I think that Big Ben, if he had Le'Veon Bell back in the backfield on that third down play, that would have been a give to Le'Veon. And then on fourth down, now we can go let Big Ben win the game throwing, because obviously that increases our chances of throwing it. But I think if Le'Veon was there, they run the ball. Do you see it that way, or do you think they would have did that even if Le'Veon was there?
It is hard to really say in that situation, because Connor is proving to be a asset to that team. Is he as good as his counterpart could have been? No, not at all. But I'm kind of going back and forth on this situation in my head, and this kind of takes me back to that Super Bowl when the Seahawks, they were 4th and 1, and they decided to run that slant.
First? Or I thought that was first down.
Or first down, but they decided to have that slant, and they lost the Super Bowl. So, it is. I would say, in hindsight, we are going to give the ball to Bell. Let our best player have the game won for us. But then you kind of go on the other side of the pill. I've seen this happen before. A team has run a slant to try to surprise the other team. So I think the play call would have probably been the same, but in hindsight, you definitely would have gave the ball to Bell.
I'm just giving the ball to Le'Veon.
Yeah.
Third down, Mike, you still got a fourth down play, and you had a timeout in your back pocket. So it's not like, they couldn't run the ball. Same as Seattle, it's not like Seattle couldn't run the ball. They had a timeout.
Right.
But yeah, I think your last point was perfect, because I say that all the time. I think these offensive coordinators try to outthink themselves.
Yes.
Oh, they ain't expecting us to do this in this spot, so let's just do it. And I guess somewhat reactionary, because if it works, he's a genius. If it doesn't, that's the worst play call ever. Yeah. I'm just opposed to when you got a guy like Le'Veon or Marshawn Lynch at that time, just give him the ball.
Well, even then, I still think you probably give Connor the ball too, because he has proven to you that he can be a workhorse on this team if put in the right spots. That time.
And most of his touchdowns are on the goal line.
Yeah. So thinking of the outcome now of the game, you give the ball to your best guy, your back. If it's Connor, if it's Bell, if it's Aaron Jones, if it whoever it might be, you give your ball
with a timeout left.
Yeah, you give the ball to your back. Have faith in your offensive line to give you a little bit of push to gain those 2 yards.
Yeah, I definitely agree with all of that. We're gonna move to the college football ranks. College football playoffs rankings came out last night. I think the only shock for me, Mike, was that they actually moved Georgia up to number 4. Now, I didn't think that they would do that, being Georgia and Alabama obviously play on Saturday in the SEC championship. But did anything surprise you about the rankings? Anything stood out? Anything that you agreed with, top 10 or whatever?
Well, as far as that Georgia thing, I did have Oklahoma in that 4 spot, and then I had Georgia at 5, and then Ohio State at 6. But I want to go and quote a team member of ours, Matthew. He said this back in September or October, or it was basically the first or second week that the college football rankings came out. He said that the college football ranking committee wants two SEC teams in the playoff. And by them putting Georgia in this number 4 rank, it gives them every opportunity to keep Georgia at that 4, if not number 3 spot. Because
especially if it's close.
Yeah. So let's say in theory, Oklahoma loses, Ohio State loses, and some crazy way Pittsburgh plays Clemson close. How do you not move Georgia or keep Georgia in that 4 seed and possibly move them up to a 3 seed if they play Alabama close and then Clemson, stumbles against Pittsburgh, it's just so this is their way of keeping Georgia in the college football conversation, even if they lose.
And just like you, as soon as I seen Georgia at number 4, the first thing I did was think of Matthew. That's the very first thing I thought about. And I said the same thing that you just said. As soon as I seen the rankings, this is their way of trying to keep Georgia being right there. Because even if Georgia beats Alabama, this is the committee way of saying Alabama is still the best team. And they did lose to a team that's also in the college football playoffs. And that team also was the same team that played in the national championship game last year against this Alabama team. So for me, I think you hit the nail right on the head. This is their way, of trying to keep 2 SEC teams in there. Now, do I think that is going to happen? No, I don't. Because the reason why I think Alabama is going to beat Georgia pretty handily. I don't think this game is going to be close. The score might be close, but people watching the game is going to see probably that Alabama outmatched Georgia. So then I think, Oklahoma is going to get in. I think Oklahoma will get into the college football playoffs. I think Ohio State is going to struggle a little bit. What do you see there? Do you who gets left out?
So I want to say Georgia is out, and I think Oklahoma is out as well, because I don't think Oklahoma will beat Texas like the college football committee wants them to beat Texas, and I think Ohio State will continue that trend that they have had this last week and just destroy North. Who they playing?
They're playing Northwestern.
Yeah, and I think that will catapult them into that 4th spot. So
let me give you this right here, because you just brought up something interesting, and you're saying something right now. This is unpopular opinion, and what you just gave out right now is definitely an unpopular opinion, because I don't think anybody really is picking Ohio State to jump Oklahoma, and this is why I don't think it's going to happen.
Even if they lose.
Well, if Oklahoma lose, yes, I think Ohio State, obviously, I think they're going to slide past Oklahoma and Georgia, because I think, obviously, Georgia's going to lose as well. So if both Georgia and Oklahoma lose, yes, Ohio State is going to slide up. But there's no guarantee either that they're going to beat this Northwestern team. This Northwestern team is tough. This Northwestern team is gritty.
You are 100% correct.
Yeah, and Ohio State has been up and down all season. Yeah, they gave us probably their best performance against Michigan, but that's Michigan. That's Ohio State, Michigan, and that runs back deep. No matter how – I'll always say this, no matter how sorry Florida State or Miami or Florida is, every time they play, you can best believe that the other team is probably going to get each other's best punch. So I'm not sold on Ohio State. I think they will win the game ultimately, but they're going to need a lot of work, especially with a 29-point loss to Purdue, and Oklahoma would only have a 3-point loss, assuming both of these guys win this week. 3-point loss to Texas, and then they come back and avenge that loss and beat Texas. I don't see how the committee would dare put Ohio State over Oklahoma if both win.
So let me throw this scenario out for you here. Okay. Georgia gets killed by Alabama. Loses by 28 plus points. Oklahoma gets beat by Texas by 10 or plus points, and then Ohio State loses to Northwestern by 15 points. Do you see who do you have in that fourth spot? Then do you think they keep a 2-loss Georgia team, or do you move up a UCF or a Michigan or someone like just like that?
If Georgia, Oklahoma, and Ohio State all lose, I think Florida or Michigan is right there. I mean, they will be prime. You think about it.
Yeah.
Florida is not playing in the SEC championship game, so they're at home. They also have 3 losses. Nobody thinks Florida can compete with a lot of these teams in the top 3. So then you will go to UCF. Well, UCF just lost their quarterback, so I don't think that they're going to look as dominant as they should for somebody to say, yeah, we're going to put UCF in there. And the committee has showed you before that they care nothing about hurting people's feelings. They're going to put the teams that they want in there, and that's going to be it. So I think Michigan will get the nod. Their only 2 losses would be against Ohio State and Notre Dame, the number 3 team in the college football playoffs. I think Michigan will slide right up there to that 4th spot, and we'll see Nick Saban, John Harbaugh.
I kind of think that as well, but I am really pulling for those 3 teams to lose. Like I'm even pulling for a Pittsburgh to upset Clemson as well, just because I want to see what the committee will do in that situation. Like, are they going to keep Clemson in the top 4 then? Are they, or do you move, or do you move a Georgia team up? Or it's just very intriguing, like how they.
Now, this would be a crazy scenario, Mike. This would be a crazy scenario. Let me put this on you right here, right?
Yeah, hit me.
Bama beats Georgia.
Okay.
Right, which most of us think is going to happen.
Yeah, I believe it's 87% thing in the ESPN.
Yeah, that's a close game. Say Georgia lose by, let's say 10, even 10. But it's a hard-fought game. Alabama probably kicked a late or scored a late touchdown at the end of the game to go up 10.
Yeah.
Right? And Oklahoma, Ohio State all lose. Imagine them keeping Georgia right at 4. And not even moving up anybody else.
And you have Bama, Georgia 2 weeks in a row?
Yeah, the same the same 4 right now, which I think is highly possible according to the committee's track record.
Yes.
We know that they love the SEC. We know that they would love to put 2 SEC teams there. It would not surprise me if Ohio State and Oklahoma both lose, which is possible as well. And Georgia loses a close one, maybe a Tua throw late with about 13 seconds left. And I'm sure we'll see a Georgia Alabama part 4.
Okay,
part 3.
So in your scenario here, let's say Clemson destroys Pittsburgh. I'm talking like 40 to 45 points. Which
is what I think it's going to be.
It is not even close. Do you see Alabama dropping down to that?
Oh no, definitely not.
To that 2 seed, just so we don't see back-to-back Georgia, Alabama?
No. Bama's been the best team. They've been number 1 all year long. They've been the most dominant team all year long. No matter how I feel about the schedule that they had, they've looked the best. They've been the best. No way the committee moved them down, especially for a team in the ACC in a year where the ACC was as down as it was.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I don't throw it past the idea of, say, a close Alabama-Georgia game, a blowout Clemson game. Why not move Alabama to that 2 seed simply because they want an SEC championship game again?
Yeah, the storylines is perfect. I would definitely probably not be opposed to it, but just for me, I just don't think the committee is going to do that, because at that point, then they would definitely show all of their cards. Every other year when they pick the SEC team to go, Alabama, to be exact, they've always kind of had somewhat justification. Well, they the best 1-loss team out of all these other teams, which we probably all could have agreed. Was it right? Probably not. But they could make their point last year that Alabama was the best 1-loss team. And then look what happened. They go win the championship. The other year when the first year when when they put them in. They have justification for that.
You're right.
They won't have any justification for saying, yeah, Clemson is the best team in the country. I just don't. Yeah. And then, showing all their cards, because now they're going to say, now everybody, everybody's going to say, dang, they just won an SEC final.
Yeah. 100%.
So they can't do that. They'll show all their cards at that point.
So, I mean, like I know that me and you can say scenarios all day long, and like that is what makes college football right now so intriguing in these championship weeks here. So let's just say if Georgia beats Alabama somehow, some way they pull the upset. Oklahoma beats Texas bad. Ohio State beats Northwestern bad. Do you see Alabama dropping out of the top 4 at all?
And you said if Georgia beats Alabama?
Yeah, like I'm talking like, probably like 14 plus points.
Yeah, I think if they lose 14 plus points, I think they get out of there. The committee at that point would definitely just be playing favorites, and I don't think that'll happen. So I think if Georgia, dominates Alabama, it doesn't look close. What we see on the field really doesn't match the score. I think Alabama will drop out at that point, especially if Oklahoma just crushes Texas. I don't see now. Bama will probably slide in front of Ohio State because Northwestern is not the quality of opponent that Georgia is. But Oklahoma beating Texas, most people think Texas is a good football team. I think they'll slide into that 5th spot right there.
So in that scenario, you have Clemson number 1, Notre Dame 2, or you have Georgia 2.
I would slide Georgia to the 2 spot,
and then
move Clemson up, Notre Dame 3, and then Oklahoma be 4, Alabama 5, and Ohio State 6.
Yeah, and that's the exactly I think how I would have it too.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. Moving on to our final topic of the day. We're not gonna pick any scores or any winners, because obviously we're gonna do that tomorrow on RTL Sports Talk. Make sure you guys join us at 9:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7:45 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. Saints and Cowboys. What could happen?
What could happen is these war of words that the defensive linemen of the Dallas Cowboys are throwing toward the Saints is going to upset them. It is going to set off Drew Brees. He could throw for 500 plus yards, six scores, and just go and just go crazy. But I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. I'm a Dallas Cowboys hopeful. The Cowboys are going to feed Zeke Elliott the ball 20, 25 plus times. He's going to get $160 on the ground, 3 or 4 scores. Keep that high-powered Saints offense off the field.
Those are some bold words right there.
Those are bold words.
Buccheister.
But think about it. Every team that plays the Saints, they try to go blow for blow. They get down early 14-0, and they feel that they had to just pass the ball, and then try to go blow for blow. And then that's what happens. They have one mistake, and then the game's over. I'm hoping that the Cowboys do not do that. They keep feeding Zeke the ball. I believe it's some crazy stat that if Zeke touches the ball over 20 times in a game, the Cowboys are, I believe it was 12-2 in his career or something.
I give you another stat that kind of boosts on what you're saying there. The last 3 games, the Cowboys are 3-0, and that's because Ezekiel has rushed for at least 120 yards in all 3 of those games.
That is correct. And if you are running the ball, the clock keeps ticking. It's keeping that Saints offense off the field. And, obviously you have to score points to win. And, if you are only on the field for, say, 20, 25 minutes in a game versus your average 30-plus minutes, that's 3 possible scores there that you don't have a chance to have. So
it's just going to be tough for the Cowboys. That defensive line they have is nice. They have been taking some shots. They've been talking some big trash. So I'm looking for the Saints to come in there and definitely be motivated. I think on a short week, I think this actually helps the Saints in a way, even though they're on the road.
So it actually isn't a short week for either team because they did
True,
both.
They played on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, they both played Thursdays last week. So
true, they did, or even the lone week helps the Saints.
Yeah,
because now you know what the Cowboys are.
Yeah,
we run the football with Ezekiel Elliott, and now that we got Cooper, force some throws out to Cooper and let him try to make some plays that maybe 50 half the time he's going to make, and the other half he's probably not going to make.
I think the biggest storyline of this game is Cooper, the actual number one overall pick that we should see, and what we saw on Thanksgiving Day, or was that just a fluke? That's kind of what I'm wondering too.
Neither. It's not really a fluke, but it's not the guy that I thought we had seen either. Coming out of Alabama, I thought Amari Cooper was was going to be one of the best receivers to probably touch an NFL field. Not like crazy, like, oh my God, did this guy? But I thought he was going to be a Julio Jones, a Calvin Johnson, just like a generational talent type thing.
Yeah.
But after his first 2 years, he made the Pro Bowl, obviously rookie year, and then his second year, and then he's kind of fell off. You can expect to see some of these plays from Amari Cooper. It's just the inconsistencies that he's had over the time is really what makes this less promising. It's going to get the Cowboy fans hyped because the Cowboys fans thinking, yeah, good job, Jerry Jones. You finally did something right. You got us, even though it cost us a first-round pick, look what this guy has done. I think he got 3 touchdowns since he's been there.
Yeah,
but it's going to be the letdown. It's going to be the letdown not because of him, because of Dak Prescott.
Do you really think that he is that bad of a quarterback? Like, you don't think he can be like a Alex Smith and just manage the games?
No, because he's not as accurate as Alex Smith. Alex Smith is an accurate passer, and Alex Smith, when he does have push the ball downfield, he is accurate while doing so. Dak Prescott is not a very accurate quarterback beyond 7 to 8 yards. Yeah, he can hit a few. We've seen him throw bombs. Obviously, he can do it. He is a NFL quarterback, but nobody should pat you on the back for doing stuff that people are paying you millions of dollars to do. So just for me, I don't think he's a terrible quarterback per se. I just don't think that he is a good enough passer when Ezekiel Elliott don't get the yards that he needs to get in order for them to win the game.
So what you're saying is like the only way the Cowboys are going to win this game possibly is if Dak Prescott is like who was the Ravens quarterback when they won that Super Bowl with Every. Yeah. So basically,
Trent Dilfer.
Yeah. So basically, he needs to be there to fill a spot, give the ball to the tailback, and let the defense hopefully hold the game down.
No, I wouldn't say that. I think he's a better quarterback than Trent Dilfer. I think because he also brings another element to the game, and that's his running ability.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott is more effective when they let him run the ball. You notice in the games at the first beginning of the season, Dak Prescott did not run the ball a lot. He was very mediocre in the passing game. Once they started, implementing him some quarterback draws, or some boots to get him on the outside, his passing game opened up because now you got to worry about whether or not he's going to run or not. And then he hit you over the top with a pass. So that Prescott he's just mediocre to me. He's just mediocre. He's better than Trent Dilfer, but he's just mediocre to me.
So this is Dak's third year in the league. I do believe so. So his rookie contract should start to be coming to an end here. Do you truly see that he is the future quarterback of the Cowboys, or do the Cowboys kind of keep him around for the next 2 years and then try to find somebody in the draft?
Oh no, that's their quarterback. That's what Jerry Jones said. Jerry Jones said that Dak Prescott will.
That
will
sounds
get
like just patting him on the back. It's okay.
what.
You suck, but we're going to stick with you.
But if you know anything about Jerry Jones, then you know that's not the case.
Well, yeah,
You know
they
still got Jason Garrett head coaching on the sideline. This guy's been mediocre for years. And when Jerry Jones said Jason Garrett is not going anywhere, guess what? Jason Garrett hasn't gone anywhere.
He's still there.
Jerry Jones said Dak Prescott is going to. Yes, as ridiculous as that sounds, it's crazy, but that's Jerry Jones. He said Dak Prescott is going to get extended. That's their quarterback. I truly believe him. Do I think that's a mistake? Totally. But you can get away with that when you got number 21 standing beside him in the backfield. You can get away with a Dak Prescott because he's not the main ingredient. He may be, the seasoned salt, but Zeke Elliott is the meat, Yeah. So it'll be a bad mistake for Jerry Jones to do that. I think they need to move on to get a better quarterback. But Dak really right now is the best available because getting rid of Dak, who you going to go get?
Bortles.
Realistically. No, yeah. That,
another mediocre guy.
Yeah, Zeke will request a trade if that was to happen.
Yeah, I mean, like thinking about it, you don't have any quarterback that could possibly hit the market. Maybe a Lamar Jackson or Joe Flacco.
He's even worse though. He's worse. Lamar Jackson. That kid is.
Yeah, I mean, like his game is to scramble and make something happen.
And the Ravens named him the starter.
Yeah, well, isn't Flacco? He's still nursing that hip allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. That's smoke and mirrors right there. They're moving on from Joe Flacco, so he's still hurt. We're gonna keep Lamar Jackson in there, and then when Joe Flacco is he's already fully healthy. But when he's quote unquote fully healthy, Lamar Jackson has been in there. We trying to groom him and all that other stuff. You know how it works, Mike.
I was kind of alluding that to on the RTF Sports Talk, but our other guy there was totally saying, nope, it's Flacco's team, and I have to agree with you. Like Jackson is the future. They're trying to keep Flacco out as long as he can, so Jackson can go on like a 4-game tear or a 5-game tear.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree with that. That's going to be it for today's show, guys. Michael Buccheister, I appreciate you for coming on the show. First time on this show. Appreciate it. It was fun talking to you as always. Obviously, I talk to you 5 days a week, RTL Sports Talk. But it was fun. You coming on my show for once. You got anything you want to plug in? You got anything you want to get out of there?
Hey man, I definitely want to pat your Duke Blue Devils on the back. I have been struggling against Indiana this past night, and they showed me that they are a real deal team.
You know what? Let's talk on that real quick if you got some time.
Yeah, I got time, man.
Remember we had talked about I probably was going to throw Zion in on the show today.
Yeah.
And I said the other day I think Zion would be the number 1 pick, and not because I think Zion is the best player that's coming out this year, because I don't, but I think just because of the hype that he receives, some team is going to be stupid enough to take him number 1. And I say stupid enough not because I don't think Zion is a good player, but I seen a stat yesterday. Out of his 25 points, right? 25 points yesterday, 22 of those points came in the paint. The other 3 points came at the free throw line. The NFL guys, the good guys, the Jimmy Butlers, the Paul Georges, the Russell Westbrooks, even the Chris Pauls, those type guys are going to expose guys that cannot shoot the basketball, Mike.
You're right.
25 points, and all of them was either in the paint or at the foul line. He has to improve his outside shooting, or it's going to be some real problems.
Well, I mean, like you say, he has to improve his outside shooting, but he only took two shots outside of that 5 foot like that 5 foot range.
There's a reason why. That's what I'm saying. Well, he has to improve it.
Well, it is a reason why, because he has so many fast break points. I mean, like, if you like, I believe it was 16 of his 25 points were like open court slam dunks. So, I mean, it's just like, if you are able to run the floor like that and finish at the rim, why not finish at the rim?
Yeah, but I get that. But this is the problem, and this is going to be his problem going forward. Derrick Rose had the same problem. I'm so much faster. I'm so much more athletic than anybody else. I don't have to work on my jumper. Why did Derrick Rose struggle his first few years in the league? Because he had no jumper. LeBron James, I'm so much bigger and faster and stronger than anybody else. I don't have to work on my jumper.
Right.
What did Popovich do? Hey, guys, sag in the paint. Don't let them get past you. Make them shoot jumpers. You're gonna have to find a way to make people respect your jumper a little bit. The reason why LeBron James is so much more deadly now is because he added that mid-range shot. He added that 3-point shot. So you no longer can just sag in the paint anymore. Now you got to play all of my game. So Zion's gonna have to develop that. He's gonna have to develop a jumper, in order for anybody to take him serious when they get in the NBA.
So I would take him number 1 overall because of that facts that you just said. He has the most upside. Yeah, we are seeing him finish at the rim all the time. That won't change. But his outside shot will start to come. He will start to be able to, shoot that 18-footer and make.
But will he ever work? Will he ever work on it? Some guys don't. Some guys don't work on it.
I think when you're the number 1 overall pick and you get on a team that needs you to be the number 1 overall pick, you are willing to put in whatever it takes to become the best.
I don't know, man. Jamarcus Russell, you sent us that thing about Jamarcus Russell, and it don't seem like he did the necessary steps.
Yeah,
but like
that's just
agree.
That's just an outlier. I think.
I agree that the upside there is potentially higher because he doesn't have a jumper, and if he learns to shoot that jumper now, I think he'll be much better. So just for me, I'm taking R.J. Barrett or Bobo number 1.
Are you taking R.J. Barrett because of he has the complete game now?
Yeah. Well, if you heard me talk before, I've always said I don't care about no upside. Give me what you got now. I don't, that potential to be great stuff. I care nothing about, because that potential to be great is your work ethic, depending on how hard you work to get to that peak. I don't care anything about that, because there's some guys that just want to be middle of the road, not necessarily not working on their skill, but just not grinding to perfect their skill. I want the guy that's showing me everything right now, especially if I'm picking one in the draft. I don't need a project. I'm trying to win. We need to win. So RJ Barrett's the most skilled, or Bobo. Bobo to me is probably the best player coming out this year with the most skill. He just plays for an Oregon team. This 7'3", can shoot the 3, can put it on the floor, can high fly, can catch the alleys, can do it all, can post up.
Yeah, I can say that I have not seen him play yet, like a full game. I've just seen his highlights. So I really can't speak too much on that. But like I'm just speaking from the players that I've seen, and I would definitely take Zion number 1 just because of his build, his side, and the upside. So that's just my take.
That's good take, Michael Buccheister. Appreciate you for joining us on the show today. Anything you want to shout out?
No, man, just definitely appreciate having you. Like I'm glad I got to actually talk a little bit instead of just asking the questions. Pretty excited about that. So definitely give Mr. GRANxJEFE here a like and a follow, guys. He's doing great work.
Appreciate you, Michael Buckheister. You catch us tomorrow on RTS Sports Talk, 9:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll catch you guys on the Unpopular Opinion. I'll catch you guys on the Unpopular Opinion podcast coming up on Friday. See you guys. Thank you for all the support.
Sky's the limit and I'm busting out the ceiling.